On the occasion of World AIDS Day, the Meghalaya AIDS Control Society under the Health and Family Welfare Department today organized a program at the old NIFT campus at Pasture Hills in Laumali, Shillong. Principal Secretary, Health and Family Welfare Department Sampat Kumar attended as the chief guest. Speaking at the program, the Principal Secretary informed that as per the AIDS Control Society's estimates, there are around 8,692 people living with human immunodeficiency virus in Meghalaya. However, only 4,900 of them are aware of their status. He also informed that 1% of pregnant women in the state test positive for HIV. Therefore, he said that there is a need for more awareness on treatment, prevention, and controlling the spread of the virus.
1%, close to 1% of the pregnant women are being tested with HIV. Close to 1%. So that means there is a lot of because the women are coming forward for antenatal checkups. As a part of antenatal checkups, this also is being screened. So we do require support. As I said, if this happens, there is a cure. In fact, as there is a cure, there is a there is nothing. There should not be any stigma associated with this. So there is a proper systems are there. So I think that is another thing. And as Dr. D. Cruz gave in her presentation, we have about, as per the the estimates, we have about 8,692 people living with HIV. But out of them, only 4,900 have known that they have the HIV. So that means about 57%. So remaining almost like 43% are not aware. A large number of pregnant women, large number means almost like 10 to 12% of pregnant women are teenage pregnant women. Are you aware of this one? So 10 to 12%. So we also, because it is happening because lack of knowledge. Many children, many young boys and girls, they don't know the safe period. So people should know about it. These are all the things we should not see it as something that we should not speak. We should know. Everybody should know what is. But I did this exercise in my office with all how many of you know safe period? In fact, very few people know about the safe period. So this is the fact. So we really require to speak about this, and so that we can actually overcome these challenges.
Speaking at the program, the project director of the Meghalaya AIDS Control Society, Dr. B. De Cruz, informed the gathering of the rights of persons living with HIV protected under the HIV and AIDS Prevention and Control Act.
We have seen that most of the people who are suffering from HIV, there always exists a certain level of stigmatization which comes along with the hardship which he already has to endure because of the infection. And in this regard itself, the legislature, keeping in regards the fundamental rights which we as citizens of the country have, has enacted this act known as Human Immunodeficiency Virus and Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome Prevention and Control Act 2017 in order to ensure that the fundamental rights of a person suffering from HIV is protected, and in case of any violation, the said person shall be in a position to enforce the same by the process of law. Since HIV Act is a lengthy act, I would speak only on the few aspects of the act. The first of all is the objective and the scope of this act. The objective of this act is to stop the stigma revolving around HIV and AIDS. Number 2 is to stop discrimination involving HIV and AIDS. Number 3, to punish people who are involved in the stigma development and discrimination involving AIDS and HIV, and to provide equal rights and opportunities to infected people. Now, the benefits of this act is that this act empowers a person living with HIV to disclose discrimination in housing, healthcare, education, public services, property right, public office, keeping and insurance. Number 2, it forbids the exclusion of HIV positive person from segregation. The acts itself read, no person shall by expression either spoken or written, print, spread, promote or convey the feeling of hatred against any protected person or community of the protected person by signs of visible representation or otherwise. Number 4, a person affected by HIV may undergo medical treatment, medical procedure or studies without informed consent. No, you cannot force any person who is suffering from HIV or AIDS under this act to go for any medical procedure or any medical care without his informed consent. Furthermore, without her consent, no HIV positive pregnant woman can be subjected to sterilization or abortion. So lastly, I'll speak about the penalties on the violation of this act. Now here comes the role of the court, under which it is observed that notwithstanding anything contained in the Criminal Procedure Code, offences under this act shall be cognizable and bailable. They are cognizable if a person commits any offence under this act. The police is at liberty to arrest that person without warrant. But of course, the offences under this act are also bailable. So I'll discuss only a few important provisions under this act, which are Section 37. Section 37 of this act says that if a person violates any of the provision mentioned in Section 4 of this act. Now Section 4 of this act basically deals with the scope and objective of this act. So if I have already discussed the scope and objective, and these are basically mentioned in Section 4 of this act. So if any person violates any of the provision of Section 4, he will be punishable. The penal provision is Section 37. He will be punished with a term of not less than 3 months imprisonment to maximum imprisonment of 2 years with fine, which may extend to 1 lakh rupees or both. And the second one is, an individual will be penalized with fine that can stretch to 1 lakh rupees if he discloses infected person's HIV status without his or her permission or without the court's order. Number 3 is that no person shall subject any other person or person to be underdetermined on the ground that such person or person has taken the following action, namely, make a complaint under this act. So no other person can stop any other person from doing these things under this act. Make a complaint under this act. Every person is free. If his right is infringed, he can make a complaint under this act. Number 2, bring proceedings under this act against the person. He can file a complaint, as there can be an FIR lodged against a person, and the particular person can also, the particular person whose right is being infringed or violated can also go to the court directly and file a complaint under this act. And furnish any information or produce any document to a person exercising any power or function under this act. So if the court asks any person that please bring, suppose a doctor, please bring the records of this particular person to the court, that doctor cannot be questioned because she is doing what is allowed in the act. Because with the court's permission, she can share the status, she can share the reports, she can share the documents to the court, and or appear as a witness in a proceeding under this act. So if there is a doctor, she is called to the court to be a witness. She can always come to the court and give her evidence.